Hi, Aries, and welcome to the fifth dimension. How are you doing today? It is my desire to bring forth your loved one who is passed, who stands beside you as an earth guide here on earth. I would also ask that you hit subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel and I'm just starting out. I want to bring some light to grief. When we lose someone, it is so devastating, and you just kind of find a new normal. Um, and I want to bring some happiness to that situation and bring forth your earth guide. This would be someone who is significant in your life, but is now one of your guides. This is different than a guardian angel. A guardian angel is assigned at birth. So this is someone who is significant in your life, who is standing beside you to guide you and love you and protect you here on earth, in addition to your angels. So they are, in a sense, one of your angels, but they definitely are here to guide you and protect you as an extra level of support. So this is a general reading, but I pray and meditate to the divine to bring forth the person for the Aries viewer that's actually watching. I've had some pretty good success with that. I do private readings. My email address is in the box below. Please email me if you have any questions or if you have any specific requests. Right now, I'm doing everything free of charge, as I'm just trying to get out there and do something nice for people at this point. I'm not seeking any financial gain. So what I do is I use several tools to bring forth someone. I don't want to waste your time. It takes me about 30 minutes to do this. I pull their story, their energy, some letters that represent them, some numbers that represent them, and then some words from them to you at the end. It's usually a very beautiful part of the reading. So, Aries, let me get started. All right. Okay, so who we have coming forth today is a man. We have had so many men yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and today. Um, Anyways, this is a man who he did not have a very good childhood. He felt he was robbed of his childhood. Um, I believe a father was significant in making him feel that way. So when he was a child, um, things were tough on him, and you probably know that. He probably talked about it. So he kind of set out on his own. I feel he was fairly young, maybe even late teens, very early 20s at the most, but I think late teens. And he had a dog, and he actually might have taken this dog with him to kind of just seek a better life and to be different. He was seeking a change. So he literally headed out um, on this journey of wanting his life to be different. He achieved success. Um, he achieved rewards and recognitions in his life. It could have been either at his job or in his community, possibly in his community. But I have that he achieved great happiness. I do believe he buried one of his own parents. It might have been this father that was kind of a detrimental significance in his childhood. But he went on to his next journey, and he was just he had trouble overcoming his childhood. So he overcame, he set out on a journey, but then he kind of came back to it. He revisited it mentally. It was kind of affecting his life. I have that he was robbed after Christmas time. So if he experienced a robbery at his home after Christmas, that's something very detailed to this person. But he ended up, let's see. Okay, so in his 50s, he buried his wife. So that's also something very significant. He buried his wife, and his next situation was difficult. He was suffering from a broken heart. It actually made him sick. He had a little short illness come on, or it was short notice. So this just all of a sudden came on, and He also went through a lot of money during this time. I don't know if he didn't have insurance or if he lost some money in the stock market or some investments or something like that. But he did not feel good at all after he buried his wife. The good news is he remarried before he passed, and she was a wonderful lady. And I don't know if that's you that's watching, and if it is, he appreciates your love and the time. He said you gave time to go out and about and do different things, and you guys enjoyed the water together, possibly boat rides or just sitting or fishing or sitting by the water. Um, but when he passed, he had achieved abundance. I mean, he had his money had recovered, things were good, and I don't know exactly how he passed, but that is his story leading up to his demise. So I'm sorry for your loss, but he seems like a wonderful person, and he did have a tough childhood, and I'm sure he's overcome that, and all that pain and everything is gone now that he's in heaven, which is what's the beautiful thing about heaven. Um, all right, so what was his energy when he was here on Earth? Um, I have that he served the community. I have that he possibly worked for a construction company of some kind. He might have been a superintendent, or I'm hearing supervisor or foreman of a construction company. But he, as kind of like his hobby, he might have done first responders, where he helped out the fire department, he helped out the paramedics. Um, I'm originally from Chicago, but I live now in Alabama, and first responders are a really big thing here. I mean, the towns are so small, they can't fund their own fire department, so the community gets together, they fund a fire department, and the citizens support that fire department, volunteer their time without pay to go help people, and I believe he did some of that. And so I'm sure that that brought him great joy, and I know the people he was helping that it did. I have that he was buried in white, possibly, or there's something about white at his burial, um, possibly. And or he wore a lot of white, and so he was buried in white. His favorite color was a deep purple. Maybe he had like a motorcycle that was a deep purple color, or an older car, a vintage car that had that was purple, or something that was purple around him. That would be significant for him. Um, all right, so I pulled letters and numbers. I'm trying to get everything quickly, but I want to be thorough. I ask the divine, the great white light, while I'm shuffling, to please bring forth some numbers that will signify this person's energy. And he's a fairly quiet man. He didn't talk a lot. I had trouble getting him to communicate. I could see him standing by me, and he had presented himself, which is what I asked, is to please bring the person forward. He was very quiet, unlike I just did Scorpio readings, and that gentleman was extremely talkative and smiley. This man is very stoic and didn't talk a lot, so that is another characteristic that's of his. But I did pull some numbers that might relate to him. What I asked for is a month that represents. Let's see, this is a 9. A month that represents his birth or his death. So this could be January or September. One might be his birth month, one might be his death month. And then the 12th and the 19th as the days of the month that possibly could have passed, or that he was born. Or this could be an age that something significant happened in his life. It could have been a story he told, something at age 12, or possibly 19, age 9, or possibly age 1. So do not force things to fit, but think outside the box. If none of these numbers represent his birth month or death month, etc., then think outside that box. Maybe his address was 1219, Mockingbird Lane, or just as an example. So don't force it to fit, but please think outside the box. So there's those. All right, and then I also asked Spirit for some letters that were representative of this gentleman. Whatever falls on the floor, I take. That's the agreement that I've made with my guides. I received HTRV. This could be Vermont. These could be his initials. So, like I said, don't force things to fit, but think outside the box. First, middle, or last name. All right. So my favorite part of doing this job is to bring forth words that if he could say to you, what would he say to you right now? And what's crazy is I said he wasn't talkative, but boy, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I normally get 3. So in a way, he all of a sudden started to talk, but was fairly quiet at the beginning. He wants you to know, I am so much better now, which I know that will bring you peace to know that. And you see the rainbow. So if you see a rainbow, when you see a rainbow, you might think of him. He said, it is not your fault. And there was another one. Yes, you have nothing to feel guilty about. So there's something that happened with respect to his death that possibly you feel guilty about. Doesn't mean you had anything to do with it. It might just be that he called you and said he wasn't feeling well and you couldn't come right away because you had work or whatever, and he passed and you feel guilty about it. He wants you to know it is not your fault. Our path is determined at the moment we are born. That is my belief. So he lived to the age he lived until because that was his life's path. It was predetermined. So there was nothing you could have done to prevent his passing. So don't feel any guilt. Don't take any of that on yourself. He does not want you to. So if you are, please don't. He wants you to know, go ahead and cry. That tears cleanse the soul. And he wants you to know also that he sees you trying to achieve something. There's either something you're trying to start, a business, a small business or something. And he wants you to know to believe in yourself. You can do it. And I see possibly a baking business, a small business out of your home is how you're going to start it. So he is beside you here. I hope you could see those. He is beside you on this new journey that you feel led to take. And he wants you to know, don't be afraid. And that might be, don't be afraid to take the leap of faith. He possibly has some insight on how this will go for you. And so he is telling you, with confidence, go forward. Don't be afraid. So you might feel his presence around you, inspiring you every time you think about starting this new little business. Just know that he is there as an extra level of love and support. And again, I am so sorry for your loss. I hope that this brought some light to your life, Aries. That is my goal, is just to bring some happiness in a dark situation. And every time we lose someone, it is just overwhelmingly difficult. And we have to all find a new normal. So part of your new normal is that now you have him as one of your earth guides. So that is a blessing. And I know a gift from the divine to you. And I hope that this resonated. If it didn't, please listen back to the other Aries readings. These are timeless. Nothing is set in stone. I mean, if your earth guide didn't come through this time, listen to the other readings and they may have come through in one of those. So, and don't give up. Hit subscribe, hit like. Love you. God bless. Thank you, Aries.